Okay, perfect.
All right, and we are at the top of the hour. I'm going to go ahead and let folks in. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we want to get started right on time to respect everybody's time. So allow me a few seconds to go through some housekeeping, and then we will be sure to hand the mic over to Levi. So thanks so much for joining us today. Couple things. Make sure you stay on mute. We are going to keep everybody on mute, but make sure you don't accidentally unmute yourself, so we provide a good experience for everyone. We will be sharing the recording after this session. Give us about 24 hours and we'll be emailing the recording out with some additional information. Couple things on the legal disclaimer. Levi is a professional and he's an expert in his field, but we do recognize that rules and regulations are different in different areas. So please refer to your states, refer to your brokers, make sure you're staying within compliance. With that, I am really excited to toss it to Levi for the next hour. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can answer them there. And Levi, I believe you're also going to take questions at the end as well. But excited for the next hour. Levi, take it away.
Yeah, thanks so much, Katie. Thanks for having us to share this incredible opportunity that we got coming up here for moving into 2026. And what we want to talk about today is a shift with YouTube. You know, going from buyer leads to seller leads. This is going to be a new playbook, and this is a question that I've gotten over the last 6 years that I've been working on YouTube. Is, you know, does this work for sellers? And a common question, probably the most asked question. Really, because a lot of the channels out there that you'll see attract a lot of buyers, especially relocation buyers. Nothing wrong with that. It's built a tremendous business for us. But I want to share with you there is a strategy for attracting sellers, especially attracting your local market, and that's the next step for us is moving into that local market and dominating here, you know, for us in the Dallas area and of course the city that you're in. So if you stay with me till the end, I will give you a simple hack that you can implement today so that you can be the first to know and to be the most knowledgeable about everything that's happening in your market about new communities, developments, infrastructure, new laws, real estate news, and local updates. This is going to make you the most interesting real estate agent in your town. I promise you that, and it's free. I'll show you how to do that at the end, and then I will open it up for some Q&A as well. And I've got a couple of team members on here with me, so if you do ask some questions in the chat, they'll probably do the best they can to answer those. And a quick shameless plug for myself. A Christian husband and father, author of Passive Prospecting, 3 times EXP icon, and a triple diamond award winner. I'm also an EXP Elevate coach. Grateful for that opportunity. I've been named EXP Instructor of the Year as well in the past. 5 times Real Producers, and then also just this last year made the top 100 in Real Producers. So that's pretty cool. And then also been recognized by Housing Wire the last 2 years in a row as a top 10 real estate coach, which is pretty cool, I think. And then also currently run 3 7-figure companies, but actually just exited out of one of those, which was a really cool opportunity, and sold over 500 homes, over 500 transactions in the last 5 years. And that's been all from YouTube. And now we got a whole new strategy in place, and I'm excited to show you that. In the free time, a little bit of a ultra running here and there. And we've been featured in Forbes, HGTV, Apple TV, D Magazine, ABC News, Dallas Morning News, and many more. And all of that is because of a YouTube channel. So that's not to brag. Look, I wasn't expecting any of this whenever I got into real estate in 2020. You know, I didn't have any dreams or aspirations to get in my local news or on the local TV stations or HGTV. I mean, I thought it would be kind of cool, but just never thought that would even happen. And it's all happened because of a YouTube channel. So it's really changed my life and our business, and so many others. We've helped so many others do this through this platform as well. And of course, that's put me on some of the biggest stages in the world and in the rooms with, you know, a lot of the great people in the real estate industry, the marketing industry, especially the YouTube industry. on top of that. And so I've been extremely fortunate and grateful. But again, all of that is because of the success from a YouTube channel. But more importantly, it's equated to real business. I mean, 500 plus, actually about 535 transactions, I believe now, in the last 5 years. And I didn't spend any money on marketing. That was all from free YouTube videos. And I want to get into this for you today and share with you that I do have three distinct channels now. Originally, I created the real estate channel for buyers and relocation. Like I said, been worked very well for us. But I also want to make this point very clear to you right now is that these are separate channels. They are separate audiences. And I know we love attracting agents at EXP as well, but if you have a real estate focused channel or a real estate client focused channel, please, I beg you, please do not put anything agent attraction related on there. Don't try to recruit agents. Don't talk about splits and the model and everything else like that. It will kill your channel quicker than everything. So I know that's it seems like it's convenient to just kind of like throw everything on one channel. But YouTube is actually pretty sensitive. It's pretty sensitive to its audience. But if you nail the audience and the person that you are really speaking to, YouTube will pay you over and over and over again, and they will promote your videos over and over and over again. So we created a separate channel for agent attraction that's been responsible for attracting a lot of agents to EXP for us as well. And then we created this third channel for sellers. Now, I experimented with some seller-based content on my buyer channel, but then I realized that that probably wasn't going to mix too well and that it really is two separate audiences. I'll explain a little bit of that here in just a moment. But again, our buyer channel alone has been responsible for over 500 transactions with zero ad spend. But again, 99% of those were buyers. And we wanted to really focus in on the local market and, attracting homeowners and, of course, sellers here in the Dallas market. And this is wide open. So the conventional YouTube playbook, right? I mean, it's really broken for listings. Standard strategy is built on relocation guides, neighborhood tours, cost of living breakdowns. I mean, if you think about all that, that does attract out of state buyers, and these are great clients. They're fun to work with and really easy, and especially because like attracts like. I mean, personality attracts people that are like you, and so all of our clients have been amazing to work with. But you think about it, like, the locals don't necessarily need that content. They don't need to know how much it costs to live here in Dallas because they experience that every single day. But the content is designed for outsiders moving in, not the insiders, the homeowners that you want as sellers. And so, that has created a red ocean, you can say, in the buyer area, especially on YouTube channels, because everybody that is starting a YouTube channel right now is also starting a buyer focused or relocation focused channel. So that continues to be a red ocean. And then you'll see like comments. I mean, you think about something like this, it really does alienate people that are in the local market. And that's whenever I started experimenting with local content that I learned this firsthand. So again, this is something that I've done everything myself and experimented. I've actually built this channel over the last year. So this is all from real world experience, not just, just sitting behind a desk and trying to look at what others do. I mean, this is real world. And so what happened, and whenever I found out that I put videos that were really more local focused on that relocation channel is they didn't mesh. They didn't get a lot of solid views or engage. They actually did get engagement, but here's the issue, right? What they don't need is locals don't need the neighborhood tour or city guide, right? They can just go drive to the next neighborhood. I mean, they don't need to wait around on me once a week to produce some video telling them about the newest neighborhood or doing a model home tour or anything like that because they live here. And so what they are looking for, though, is they want insights on what's happening in their community and how it impacts their number one asset, which is their home. And so that's what we really start to dig into. And again, whenever I created that content on one channel, I saw that the relocation really does alienate the locals. And so I started to see a lot of comments, like, we're full, stop moving here. A popular one here in Texas is don't California my Texas. People would say keep Texas red. I mean, very, very opinionated. So whenever I really tried to, if I drew in that local audience, they saw the other content that I was creating and maybe even associated with me as part of the problem with getting people to move here from out of state. They want to keep Texas, Texas, right? And so I just realized I'm probably not going to get on the good side of locals and sellers if I'm communicating to others. Not that that's a big deal, but clearly it's a split in audience right there. So, what did that lead me to? Well, I decided I wanted to shift content completely and start a new channel on that. So, instead of like relocation information, I wanted to really tap into local intelligence. So, if you think about it, I thought about like what are the problems I face as a Dallas local, and think about people. Most people have a job. Most people commute, and so therefore, think about all the developments, all the new projects that are going around your city. And of course, I am fortunate to live in Dallas, where there's a lot of activity happening, quite a bit, especially in the areas that I live and focus on massive amounts of development. And everywhere you go, typically when they start moving dirt, they don't usually just put up a giant sign out front that says, hey, this is what we're building or coming soon. So a lot of times locals are guessing like what's going to be built there over the next 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. And yes, you'll get a few that probably go online and start researching that, but most people don't do that. They don't take that initiative. So they drive by this big pile of dirt that's getting moved around every day for months sometimes, wondering like what's happening there. That's literally what they would say, like I wonder what's happening there. On top of that, they start getting detoured in traffic. They start getting rerouted, or their commute takes an extra 10 or 15 minutes. And then they're wondering like how long is this going to last? And then really at the end you think about it, they're also asking themselves like what is this going to affect my home value? Is my home value going to go up? Are my taxes going to go up? Oh, they're building a brand new school right there. So they start thinking about all these things and how they affect them as a homeowner. And so think about that. Plus, big investments, business news, corporate relocation. We got a lot of corporate headquarters relocating to the Dallas area. So, is that going to bring in more demand for housing? Is it a good time to sell? Are you going to have a big campus built right next door to your neighborhood? I mean, we literally have a universal kids resort getting built right across the street from a major residential neighborhood. You can see it from the backyards of some homes. So how is that going to affect them in a good way or a bad way? And then you can see here clearly the traction that we've been getting on this channel, especially just within the last few months. I mean, we had this video 3 months ago pop off to 334,000 views, 6,400 views. This video got 40,000 views, 42,000 views, 36,000 views, 82,000 views, 111,000 views. This is on YouTube. Again, all organic, no ad spend in here. Look, 8,700 views, 4,100 views. So we know that this content is really attracting the local audience. And so when you look at kind of like that red ocean versus blue ocean, there's a massive supply of relocation content. I mean, every agent and their dog right now is making, moving to Dallas, living in Dallas, relocating to Dallas. Those videos are all over the place. But the supply of local intelligence, you could say, is extremely low. I mean, it's a blue ocean, and YouTube's algorithm will reward creators who serve an underserved, high demand audience. On top of that, you want to think about market, or total adjustable market. That's referred to as TAM sometimes. What's the TAM? Like, how many people can you actually capture? Well, relocation in Dallas is a pretty big business, but 178,000 people moved to Dallas in the last year. So that's about the size of my market, right? If I'm focusing on relocation content, I'm capped around 178,000 people. Look, I don't need to sell 178,000 people a home. I need a small fraction of that. But when you look at Dallas Fort Worth as a whole, there's about 8 million people in the Dallas Fort Worth metropolitan area. So 178,000 to 8 million. That opens up my market much bigger, especially to focus in on the local market. And then again, like I said, I just pulled the first 20 channels. Like if I search living in Dallas, Texas, our channel is number one, but then I just pulled up the next 20 channels, and people don't even name anything different. They say living in Dallas, living in Dallas, Dallas, Texas living, living in Dallas, 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 discover Dallas, Texas living, living in North Dallas, So again, not even a lot of originality out there, right? They just model what we've been doing, and we're part of that problem. We help, train people on this all the time, and I get it. But if I search what's happening in Dallas, and that's the name of the new channel, by the way, what's happening in Dallas, then we pop up with like bloggers and news and other things like that. We're the only one even close, and we pop up there. So if people are asking that question, like what's happening in this area, now we're in a blue ocean. If I type in living in Dallas, a minimum of those 20 channels plus about probably 30 more are going to pop into it. But there's nothing even close to what we're doing in Dallas. But now that I'm talking about it, they're going to start popping up sooner rather than later. But this isn't just news, okay? That's the most important thing here is like we're not just reporting news, okay? We're not newscasters. We're not going to become Ron Burgundy, all right? This is real estate intelligence is the way we look at this. So every single video must really answer the question like, how does this affect my home value? So we may talk about a new highway, and that may seem kind of boring, but actually we have a video we made on a specific highway, and it got 35,000 views. This new highway means this, okay? It changed traffic patterns, new accessibility, or this development is going to bring in 500 new families. So that could increase housing demand. Or here's how this impacts your decision to sell in the next 1 to 2 years. Okay, so do you sell right now before this construction project is complete, or do you sell in the middle of this construction project? Or, what are your options to look at buying in another neighborhood? So again, when we talk about what's happening, that's the main piece is towards the end of this, we want to tie this all together and say, how does this affect real estate in this area? And when we do that by neighborhood or by suburb, it allows us to focus in on that as a whole as well. And we can really focus in on like micro intelligence, for that region and how that is going to impact them and their home value. And the content playbook for this is pretty simple right now. We're sticking with between 10 to 20 minutes on our video length. We're doing one video a week on top of it, so one high quality video per week. So consistency over quantity, that's really key. And then thumbnails, keep them simple. Use recognizable local landmarks, road signs, buildings with minimal or no text. And again, if I showed you a quick snapshot of thumbnails, you can see we've got a lot of Dallas in the background, or something that's recognizable. Dallas in the background again, and so Dallas residents see this and they go, "Man, what is that strange looking thing right there? I wonder what that is." And that's a big reason why this probably popped off. We're talking about Salina in a community, and people in Salina are like, where is that development? What is that? I haven't seen that before. What is that going to look like? Where is that? So they get curious. McKinney, when we're focusing on another suburb, they're like, where is that? What roadway is that? Okay, I'm interested. And so again, even if it's focused on one suburb, 36,000 views. That's pretty significant. We're looking at Salina here, before and after. So clearly they can tell this is like downtown, and that's what it's going to look like after. Well, yeah, that's according to the city and the AI renderings that they have in line and everything like that. So they're saying, oh, when is that going to take place? How long am I going to have to live through that construction? Is my home going to be worth more or less when all of this is said and done? We did the same thing on Plano again, and it's already at 8,700 views. Again, a little before, a little after of what it's going to look like. This was a big deal too, just for Netflix, opening up here in the Dallas area. What do they call this? Their content house. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's a whole like playground and immersive experience that you can do. So it's pretty cool. Even something on Fort Worth we did about the construction stalling on this whole particular project here that's over $1 billion. So again, locals are recognizing these pictures and images and everything like that. Sometimes we don't even need words, or we'll just put a few words in there as a caption. Again, Dallas 2030, people see all of what this is all down by the river. What are they building over there? It creates a significant amount of curiosity. But whenever I look in the analytics, all of the views, look at this, every single one of these views. This was our view count for 2025. We did over almost 750,000 views on the channel. And Dallas, Fort Worth, Frisco, McKinney, Plano, Irving, Arlington, other than Houston. Houston's the only one in here, but it's only 1.3% of the viewership. But every single other one of these are Dallas neighborhoods and suburbs. So almost 99 or 98.7% of the viewership is coming from the Dallas local market. Whenever I look on my relocation channel, it's Los Angeles, it's New York, it's Seattle, it's Portland, it's Chicago. It's all those cities mixed in there. So this is 98.7% of the viewership coming from locals in the suburbs. And so, what how do we get the business? Well, this is way the low pressure offer that really converts the viewers into leads. And so now this has been generating consistently a seller lead per day for us. And we just do a free home evaluation. That's it. And so it directly aligns with the content's core theme, which is the home value, right? It's high value, low pressure offer for the viewer. And it seamlessly moves an engaged local homeowner into your lead funnel. So that's it. That's the call to action at the end of the video, which is here's what's happening. Here's why it matters. Here's how long you're going to have to deal with it. Here's how it affects home values in this area. And if you're curious what your home value is worth at this current moment, fill out our free home evaluation below. It's really that simple. And we're getting at least a submission a day coming in from this. And so, what has that led to over the last year? And again, this is something that I wanted to prove myself, wanted to experiment myself, to spend the time, energy, and effort on before I ever brought it, to the public, you could say. And you're the first one in EXP, by the way, if you're on this call right now to see this. But we already generated over 10,000 subscribers on the channel in the first year. By the way, there's a lot of channels in Dallas, like I showed you, a lot of relocation channels that have popped up, and they've been working on their channels for 2 or 3 or 4 years, and most of them haven't even hit 10,000 subscribers yet, and we just did that in one single year. So we even passed up a lot of those channels. Maybe you call them competition, or I would just call them model channels that again follow the blueprint. And I get it. Like I said, we're part of that problem because we teach and train this stuff. But now this channel blew up because there's nothing else like it in the Dallas area, and nothing like this across the country right now. Those that want to implement this are going to be the first ones to market, and you're going to be focused on your local market. You're going to become the go-to person for all things happening in your area. And again, you can see here just a quick shot of December as this was. I mean, over 206,000 views in a single month just for December. We did over 2,200 subscribers alone inside of December. And look, I'm not even trying to monetize it, but they paid me almost $1,700 as well. So hey, that pays a couple of bills. I'll take that. That's like free money. But again, I'd rather turn over the real estate business. And again, this is probably one of the most important metrics right here on the channel. Is shares. This is crazy. We actually are getting more shares than likes on the videos. This one video alone had 7,858 shares. At the time I took this screenshot, this video had 1,200 shares. This one, 900 shares, 926. So again, look at this, over almost 15,000 shares. From just these videos that I screenshotted right here. So what that tells me is that there's value in these videos, that the locals are sharing these with other locals. So think about this. Our relocation channel doesn't have a lot of shares, and it makes sense. You know why? Because if somebody's moving from California to Dallas, how many people do they know around them that are also moving, from California? Maybe they know one. It's definitely not their whole neighborhood. They're not going to share a Dallas relocation video with their neighbors and their friends and their coworkers and their family, unless unless their corporate headquarters is moving to Dallas, then they might share it. But it's a low likelihood. But a local, think about it. If I see a video about my neighborhood and my community and about construction and how that's affecting home values and everything else, I'm like, whoa, that affects all my neighbors. That affects my neighbors on the next block. My brother lives over here, or I see something that is happening in my friend's neighborhood across town, or my dad's neighborhood, or my mom's neighborhood, or something like that. Then it's shareable content. You're like, oh, this is happening in Joe's neighborhood or Fred's neighborhood or Betty Sue's neighborhood. And so this is the power. This is why this channel is gaining so much traction, because locals are sharing it with other locals and they're saying, "Hey, this is important. This is valuable." And that's why we're getting the traction with the locals and becoming the new authority about what's actually happening in Dallas. And think about it. Think about if you've ever seen a news clip about real estate on the news. I mean, what do they cover? They cover 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes max. It's a headline, it's a blurb. If they even talk about real estate on the evening news, maybe it's once a week or twice a week. It's never in depth. I mean, well, I actually did a segment with the local news, two segments. They were max 3 minutes, and that was actually for the morning show. So it was like the Good Morning Dallas show. They had me do two segments with them, and they still capped them at 3 minutes. So that only told like a little piece of the story. Here we're able to create videos that are 10, 15, or 20 minutes and really give people the true understanding, and then tie it back to real estate and how it affects their home values. I mean, this is a big deal, but look at that. Think about that. That's 15,000 people, I mean, have shared the videos within the local community. But even look at this. I love these stats too. Just in a single month, if you look at December, I mean, averaging 26,000 views every 2 days. Look at this at 10 p.m. at night. I don't know what you're doing at 10 p.m. at night, but I'm usually asleep by then. But like over 1,000 people are watching just in a single hour. 1,000 people watching the channel from 10 to 11. So, that's why we love the term passive prospecting, because this channel is prospecting for us 24/7. You can see there's not an hour of the day that goes by that people are not watching this video. But who else could you prospect? How else could you prospect to 1,000 people in a single hour at 10 o'clock, at night? It's just not possible. But this channel is doing that for us already. And what happened last year? Here's the real question is, well, did that equate to any business? Yeah. We were averaging about 20 seller leads per month last year. We were able to secure about 10 of those for listings. So we do need to work on our conversion. I will admit, I think some of you are probably way better at converting listings than us. We've been really, really focused on buyers and heavy on buyers. So we're learning our way. But I think we'll double, if not triple that this year for sure. Whenever it comes to listing secured. So that was equivalent to 8.5 million in sales volume and 256,000 in GCI. So that's the question you got to ask yourself. Hey, would it be worth it to make a simple video each week to add minimum, 256,000 possibly, no guarantees by the way, but that's the opportunity. And again, I was doing a lot of experimenting last year. Now I've built out the program so that you don't have to guess on what to do. I just walk you through absolutely everything that we know is working. But again, even the comments on these videos, they're all identifying as locals. They say things like, "Hey, native Dallas resident here. I've seen this development up and always wondered what the plan was. Great breakdown. I grew up in Dallas and the traffic changes are going to be insane. Thanks for covering this. No one else is." Another comment, "As a transplant from SoCal, I don't want to Californianize Texas. It's good to see content that respects the local community." So even the comments, I actually, if I go through there, like 100% of the comments, they all identify as local. They all say, "I live in Dallas. I've lived in Dallas. I've been here for 10 years. I've been here for 20 years. Oh yeah, this is going to change everything. Oh, I can't wait till this is done." So every single person commenting on the channel too is a local. Just think about that. We're really making an impact. And this happened to me in the gym too. The other morning, I went to the gym and this guy came up to me, one of my friends there at the gym, one of my gym friends, and he was like, "Levi," he goes, "I didn't know you had a YouTube channel." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I do." And he said, he goes, "Well, yeah, I was talking with my friend about all the developments that are happening around this area." And he told me, he goes, "You got to check out this video. It really breaks down a lot of great information." He goes, he sent me the video and he goes, "It was you." And I said, "Oh, yeah, yeah." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel." And he's like, "Man, great job. That was a really great video. Broke it down. I'm subscribed now, by the way." And that's the power in this. Like I said, locals sharing your content with other locals is really a game changer for you here. So Here's a real simple 5-step blueprint that we definitely cover in the program. Is that you simply define your farm, okay? List your target cities and neighborhoods. You want to go deep, not wide. So pick your top 5 or 10 areas that you really want to focus on. There should be plenty of content, trust me. You want to become a local expert, right? So systematically track the developments, the business news, the city announcements. I'll show you how to do that actually here coming up, how you can do that for free every single day. And like I said, it'll make you the most interesting real estate agent in your town. You want to create a workflow, focus on a simple, clean production process. The message is really the priority. And then always connect it back to real estate, right? So be the economic translator for your community. That's what it really means. And then be patient and consistent. Commit to one video per week for at least 12 months. I mean, really, I say, look, YouTube, as long as you plan to be in real estate, YouTube should be a part of your marketing strategy, period. Really. I mean, that's it. So, but if you're going to do this, don't be like, oh, I want to try this. Yeah, I want to try this for a month or two. That's not really how it works. You want to say, hey, I'm willing to commit to this for at least a year. I'm going to give it everything I've got. But look, I can spare 10 to 20 minutes a week to make a video. Okay, cool. Now, yes, you got to do a little research in there as well, but still, this shouldn't take you more than 1, maybe 2 hours a week to work on this. And it can, I mean, think about this. If you could get 1,000 people watching your channel in a single hour, would that be worth it? To take an hour or two each week to make the content. But this is also going to make you a better real estate agent. I mean, this is going to make you understand your market and know what's happening and really have a behind the scenes understanding of what is happening in your area. So the relocation gold rush, I don't know if it's over. I wouldn't say it's over. Look, we're still helping people build relocation channels, and they're still coming in and getting a lot of traction and doing business and collecting leads and converting that. That's very important. I mean, we have these successes through our program every day. We see them in our communities and everything. Now, this is the opportunity to do something new. And while most people will still kind of default to do that, and it's understandable, it is the proven model and the proven system, but this is now the new model and the new system. And again, if you're a team lead or a broker, I know those types of people are always wanting to generate more seller leads. This is a huge opportunity. This is great lead flow for the team if you have that, or your brokerage as well. And you become the master expert of your area. Again, it's one thing to talk about relocation. It's another thing to talk about everything else. So if you're ready to build your YouTube listing lead machine, let me know in the chat. Go ahead and give me a yes. I don't even have my chat pulled up, but go ahead and let me know in the chat if you're ready to do that. And this sounds like something new and exciting that you would be interested in doing on there as well. So what we do is we've built out the whole passive prospecting program for sellers. All right, we have built this out. And of course, we are here in partnership with EXP. And so this is the opportunity. We're going to put a link in the chat, and then we're also doing an exclusive launch price for those of you on this call today. So we are releasing this program for $19.97, but for all of you that are on this call today, we're going to cut that in half, 50% off. For those of you joining us today for $9.97. Okay, so on top of everything else, we're going to throw in some freebies for you as well. We're also going to throw in our buyer and seller presentation templates. You're going to get those for free, no charge. You can just add them onto the cart whenever you click on the link. We're also going to throw in our frameworks book. You're going to get that for free as well. We're going to throw in a copy of my Amazon best-selling book here, Passive Prospecting, right there. So you'll get a free copy of that as well. So we'll throw that in there. You're getting the passive prospecting program for sellers at 50% off. Like I said, we're going to be selling this for $19.97, and we're offering it to you today for 50% off for $9.97. And then if you want, we also have the whole passive prospecting program for buyers. We have an exclusive for you on that today for 90% off. If you want to do that, you can click the link in the chat, or you can scan the QR code. And then here's the simple hack to be the first to know and to be the most knowledgeable in your market, and how we curate a lot of our information for these videos is by simply setting up Google Alerts. So go to google.com/alerts and type in the keywords that you want to be notified on. So for example, my keywords are Salina, Texas development, Salina, Texas real estate, Dallas, Texas real estate, Fields, Frisco. My name, yeah, yes, put your name in there as an alert. I've had news articles pop up. That's actually how I found out I was a Housing Wire top 10 coach, is because I got a Google alert that they mentioned me in an article. I didn't even know. I didn't know that I was selected or any that was a process or anything. It just happened. And I got an alert for my name, and I clicked on the link, and it was a Housing Wire article about the top 20 coaches in real estate or something, and I was number 6 on the list. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Right after Brian Serhant and Tom Ferry. So I thought that was a pretty cool honor to have there. But that's how I found out about that, you know. So you never know there. And I found local articles written about me as well, through the news, and other blogger websites have mentioned my name, and I found out because of my Google alert. So do that. I also have like a Frisco, Texas development. I have a few other alerts. But when you do that, what Google does is every single day they curate articles with those keywords inside, and they will send you a single email with the news articles that relate to that. And I don't read every single one, but I do read a lot of them because they're relevant. But look at this, like Dallas is booming except for its downtown. Okay, so written by the Wall Street Journal. Build Baby Build, some of this year's multifamily highlights when renting in Texas became harder this year, or why renting in Texas. Okay, I'd be interested to read that. I'd be interested to read this first one. These are Dallas's 5 most endangered properties, where home buyers got the most for their money in 2025. I would definitely read that. 100 homes sold, other local real estate data in Grapevine, Colleyville, and Southlake. I would definitely read that. So I read through these, and most of these articles are 3 to 5 minutes on the read, but it's how I collect data. It's how I find out about new developments. It's how I find out about timelines and things like that. And I can really dig in to that. And what I'll do is I'll just save a couple of the articles throughout the week. And typically that becomes our content for that channel as well. But overall, I detail all of this. All of this is put together in a simple to follow program, that you can get right now. Again, for 50% off because you're on this call with eXp Realty and Elevate as part of our partnership with them. When we launch this out in the open market, we will sell it for $19.97. So we built a step-by-step program, gives you the complete system for content ideas and filming workflows and video optimization, how to do everything on there. We break it all down so that you can implement this in your market. And again, like I said, today, for those of you, not only are we giving you 50% off, we're going to throw in some additional freebies, the buyer and seller presentation templates. These are really great to use on Zoom calls, especially if you have, relocation buyers or buyers in general. And then if you're going on a listing or anything like that, it's a really good presentation template to use. The frameworks book, you get the passive prospecting book and the commission kickstart masterclass. Actually, just filmed that today. I reviewed everything on 2025, our top videos that made us the most amount of money. And so that's a simple thing that you could implement in there as well today. So I just re-recorded that. That's brand new for 2026 as well. And you'll get that option on top of that. Let me see. And there you go, Chrissy, or Carlos. Are you there with me?
Yeah.
Any questions in the chat that you saw come in?
Um, I think that was kind of let me go look. I had a bunch that were a little
I
scroll
think
up
I'm losing
here.
you. Carlos, are you there?
Hey, yes, I'm here. I saw one of the folks were they were asking, I think you may have addressed it, but like, will this work well in a small town? Since you're doing it in Dallas, they had a question about that.
Yeah, all the small town people are always worried about the small towns, aren't they?
It seems to be a trend. It
Yeah.
seems to be a
Yeah.
trend.
I mean, I don't know. Do they sell real estate in the small town? Yes, yes, yes. I'm joking around, but yes, this works. I mean, yeah, as long as I don't know, as long as you're not in the country. Like I grew up in the country, like literally in the country. So, but I don't know. They're building a lot around that area now. So, I mean, if you have nothing happening in your city, well, you'll have to get a little bit creative. So it just depends. I mean, yeah, I would say the size and the development and everything else that's happening in your town. Maybe. I mean, if you live in a town of 5,000 people and there's one stoplight and nothing's been built, you still have a Safeway. I don't know, Piggly Wiggly maybe. Those were around whenever I grew up. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes, but it should work. Actually, we see more traction in the small towns, just because number one, it's a blue ocean there. Typically, nobody's doing that. But if you really start connecting the dots in a small town, and also what we're really doing is helping people realize the equity they have in their homes. I think a lot of people are sitting on a lot of equity, and some of them are not really even sure how much is in their home. So whenever I do talk about certain things happening in that area, then and I tie that to, hey, here's how home values have adjusted in the last month or two or three, and that might surprise people. And I say, look, home values, 3 years ago were this, and now they're this, and that's a 50,000 or 100,000% or 100,000 increase. I mean, somebody watching that might go, oh wow, I didn't know that. Let me go get a free home evaluation and check it out. But yes, this works as far as I know everywhere, So again, but you should. We've seen on the buyer side too; those channels have blown up sometimes quicker with a lot more traction sooner, just because nobody's doing that. So if you become the go-to expert in a small town, and it's funny because also I've asked people, well, what's a small town? They're like, well, I've got 100,000 or 150,000. I don't think that's a small town. Like I grew up in a town of 10,000 people. I think that's a small town. But now there's a lot of development even around there. So it could be interesting, but at the same time, there's other ways you can do it. Absolutely. But yes, this will work there as well.
Another question that came in was, do you provide scripts or examples of videos that are working for this channel versus the buyer channel?
Well, we definitely show you how to generate the scripts throughout the program. So again, it's if I give you something for Dallas, not really relevant to Denver, Colorado, or Raleigh, North Carolina, or something like that. So we show you how to take the information, input it with some AI assistance as well, and then to generate some scripts and information for you. So yes, that's part of the program.
Yeah, and I believe that we also have like examples of some of the videos that have done the best for us too, so you can go in and actually kind of make your own version of what we've done too.
Mm-hmm.
What's the ideal time length for a YouTube video for this channel?
Anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes is ideal. So that's what we typically focus on. We have a couple that are just a little over 20 minutes, but yeah, probably 15 to 20 minutes is ideal. And
And
then,
then, oh, sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I saw, yeah, do frequent market updates on specific towns, or I do frequent market updates. Now, here's the problem with market updates. Yes, they work, but we also show you how to do them differently. So the thing is that most people that do market updates, as far as I've seen, when I've seen those on channels on YouTube, they usually have like 34 views, or 15 views or 83 views. Sometimes I've seen maybe a market update video maybe get 1,000 views max. The reason being is because usually they're just boring. It's usually just an agent spouting off some stats. Hey, listings are up, more inventory, price drops or were this many price drops. I mean, they're just kind of spitting out some data. So what we do is we intertwine that information in there. So it's not just like a data dump. It's just worked into the content. And then again, whenever you tie it back to how does this affect real estate in that specific area, that's what makes it interesting. So yeah, there's a way to do that. Most of the market updates and reports I've seen on channels are just uh, they're boring, and they're very, very data driven and dry. So you have to have something interesting around that, and then also tie it to where it directly affects them. Videos on specific houses, like your listings, they don't really. No, it's not. Again, it's not really that type of focus. So we have the content in there. Like I said, we focus on major developments. We focus on infrastructure. We focus on what's new. That's what locals care about. Plus, they're thinking about selling their home. Unless you're, I don't know, showcasing million or multi-million dollar properties, they're probably not going to watch your channel and be like, oh my gosh, I got to have that house, baby, we should sell our house right now and call this agent. That's not really it. Yeah, this is a nurture campaign. This is a building trust campaign. This is creating content around all the information that makes sense to them and tells them how how this affects their home value. And whenever they do that, if they say, "Oh, maybe we should move because we've got 150,000 in equity. I didn't realize that, but maybe and they're probably going to want to sell and start looking, and so there's nothing really that we talk about as far as your own listings in there. It's not really relevant to the content, and it's not likely going to attract the people, or the sellers.
Cool. Yeah, another question. Can you tell us about how the program works in terms of support and training and just what basically he's asking, just what does it look like once we actually get the program?
Yeah, well, we have, I mean, you get into our school community. I mean, we have open office hours in there. So usually daily, daily we have from 2 to 5 p.m. We have open office hours. You can just jump in a Zoom call. It's an open Zoom room, by the way. So it's open for 3 hours a day. You can just jump in there. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can get some support there. But otherwise, the program, this is a done for, or a done, do it yourself. That's what I mean. This is a do it yourself program right here, especially at that price. And it's going to walk you through everything. I mean, I have video tutorial, templates, handouts, and everything that you need to walk you through step by step. And then if you have any additional questions or you feel like you get stuck somewhere, you're inside of our community and you can go into the office hours and ask for support there. And we should be able to help you out. And then, or you can ask a question inside the community or anything like that as well.
Yep. And then another question, how do you get your channel to grow? That's actually a really good question, Sarah.
Well, you make really good content, but overall, when you provide value through the videos, people will subscribe. So we don't really have calls to action for please subscribe or anything like that. The call to action is the home evaluation. But when people find value when they're sharing the videos, they're going to subscribe on their own. I've had many comments in there. People say, man, this provided a lot of value. I'm a subscriber now. I just subscribed. Oh, man, this is valuable content. So the content, as you get better and you deliver more value, that's what's really going to grow the channel. So I mean, you can ask for the subscription. You can say, "Hey, please subscribe below." But for us, we're trying to use as much airtime as possible to deliver value, and so that's really a key point. And when people find value, they will subscribe. But the other thing is too is that the algorithm now is not really based off of that either. And so if somebody watches one of your videos, it's more than likely YouTube's going to serve them the next one. And if they watch a second video, then more than likely YouTube's going to serve them the next 3 or 4 or 5 of your videos. So as long as they continue to engage and watch your content and watch a good portion of it, at least 30% or more of that video, YouTube will continue to promote that. So the most important thing is you get the form submissions. It's really about the lead flow. So if we feel like it's not growing based on subscribers or something like that, I wouldn't be too concerned about that unless we have 10 subs at the end of a year. That wouldn't be very good, but the most important thing is the lead flow. So that's what I'd be keeping an eye on. But I think naturally you'll grow. I mean, for us to grow over 10,000 subs just in a year, that was more than what I was expecting. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was like super fast growth, especially compared to, we were comparing it to our buyer channel. And I think in terms of time, we actually got more subscribers faster with the seller channel than we did with the buyer channel at the very beginning.
Yeah, I think we had
yeah,
7,000 subs at the end of the first year. And that was, going into 2021 when we had a lot of relocation momentum. So, and we hit really good timing with that as well. I'm happy to admit that, when I got into real estate, that was really good timing. I wasn't planning that. I wasn't thinking about that or trying to position off that. I made the move into real estate and I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do this YouTube channel. And I just happened to hit the momentum in the market that definitely helped significantly. But yeah, we had 7,000 subs at the end of the first year. So for this to have 10,000 subs in 2025 when the market was almost just as bad as they would say as 2024 with the lowest transaction volume count in the last 30 years, you know, election happening or the after effects of an election, you know, interest rates still kind of high last year. I mean, all tariffs, you know, all this uncertainty and everything like that, you know, all this talk. I mean, home prices still really going up. I mean, so all that happened, and last year we still grew the channel in the middle of all of that and generated a significant amount of business. So the opportunity is there, and I think 2026 already. I mean, I know we've already put 16 million under contract in the first 3 weeks of January for this year. So it's we're going to have a massive year. I think 2026 is going to be really great, and of course the current administration is really pushing for affordability and trying to open up housing. And it's also midterms coming up. So you're already seeing interest rates come down to their lowest point in the last 18 months. So there's a lot of factors that I think are pushing towards a solid year this year. But you need to be visible. You need to have a YouTube channel. You need to have something that gives you more exposure than you can just do on your own. And this is a great way to do that.
Okay, and I think the last question I saw was, do you use a professional studio to record your videos, and what would you recommend?
Yes, and by the way, just you can click the link in the chat or scan the QR code to you know, to get your access to the program. But you don't need a professional studio. I mean, you can do everything. The phone or the cameras on these iPhones are amazing. You can do. I've filmed in hotel rooms whenever I'm traveling, and you know, put it on cinematic, blurred the background, and it made an amazing video. And also my hotel room was a mess, you know, so they couldn't see everything behind me that was going on. So, no, you don't need a professional studio. You don't need professional equipment, but I would say an iPhone, especially a 17, is professional equipment. I mean, you're paying enough for that phone anyways. So, uh, that's all you need. I mean, maybe you get a nice little tripod to put that on so you can position it. But you know, I've seen videos with millions of views, and they have a white wall behind them. So you know, all this stuff behind me is just, you know, that's just me bored, and also I like a good background, but it's also functional. I mean, I actually have books on those shelves. I read those books, and then you know, I add a couple little pieces of decoration, but my background's still kind of blurred, so it's still even hard to see that. So you just need you need your camera phone, and you need the system. That's what you really need. And a good microphone. You do need a good microphone. And we have that in the program as well. We do have recommended equipment, but a simple microphone and you'll be good to go.
Yep, I think that's all the questions I saw, unless I missed any that Carlos saw. That's everything I saw.
Carlos, is that it? We're
Yep.
good?
No, those are all the questions I saw. I guess just to kind of reiterate what you were saying, guys, or yep, what you guys were saying. If you guys are interested, I would make sure to click that link in the chat. This is the only time that we've got it for 9.97, which is half off the normal price. And I believe it also comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. Isn't that right, Levi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so again, just go ahead, click that link in the chat. It comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. So if for some reason you guys didn't like it, which I know won't happen, I know you'll love it, but if for some reason there's any issues, our team will make it right. So just wanted to remind everyone, go ahead and click that link in the chat, and can't wait to see you guys on YouTube.
Dale,
Absolutely. Yeah.
one final
Oh,
question. What's the time commit? So how
oh.
long is the on-demand training?
Yeah, well, let me see. I haven't I mean, if I that's a good question. I think it's probably about 12 hours total of content.
And it's on
So
demand and you can take it on at your own
yeah,
pace.
when they get started, we'll send them a link. It'll give them access inside our community, and then also it'll open that up. But it's 100% on demand. They can go at their own pace. They can also speed up the videos. So if they want to listen to videos at 1.25 or 1.5 or even 2x, that could speed up the process. And it's a step by step. Yeah, so we have it broken down in different modules, and we take them from the beginning. So we show you how to build out your channel, how to design your banner. We have the templates for that. So we start at scratch. I mean, if you already know that or have that in place too, you could also just skip straight to the content piece on how to create the content and go from there. But yeah, in total, I mean, you could probably knock it out in a day if you had a whole free day with no distractions and wanted to run through it. You could probably easily knock it out in a day. But yeah, you could easily do it over a couple of days.
I love it. Block the time, block the time and make it valuable and personal time.
There you go.
Awesome. All right,
Well,
Levi,
thank you,
thank you
Katie.
so much for
Yeah.
your time. Appreciate it. Thank you for your insight and your wisdom. Chrissy, thank you. Carlos, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining. And we will follow up via email within the next 24 hours with a link to recording so you can go back for a refresher.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you.